FASD United Circle of Stars. Come on in, get comfortable. Get your favorite drink, or perhaps you're having a meal, and join us tonight. Good evening from FASD United in Washington, D.C. Welcome, fetal alcohol spectrum disorders, FASD advocates from across the U.S. and Canada and around the world to the Circle of Stars celebration. I'm Tom Donaldson with FASD United. We are so excited to be here. We hope you are too. Now, over the next hour, you'll hear from no fewer than 25 leaders, friends, and honorees from our community. No long speeches, simply a glimpse of the diverse FASD United team, our champions on Capitol Hill, just a few miles from me, and inspiration from our star awardees. Now, we're also going to ask you for your support. So many of you have already donated, many more than ever, and thank you. During the program, we'll ask you to consider a pledge and donation to our work on behalf of children, adults, and families, and our important programs in support of our affiliate network, Policy Center, the Justice Center, and our Birth Mothers Network. Now, our sponsors and many of you have our fundraising off to a great start. Thank you to the Rabo Family Foundation, Kate Boyce, Constance and Jay Mazelsky, Tom and Linda Daschel, I believe for the 31st consecutive year supporting NOFAS and FASD United, Leonardo DRS, the Harry and Bessie Charitable Trust, Chugach Alaska Corporation, the Mason Hurst Foundation, and our own Susan Shepard Carlsen. Now, so far we've raised nearly $66,000 towards our event goal of $80,000. I hope you'll help us move closer tonight. Now, when it comes to giving, for 25 years, no one has given more of their professional and personal time and more money to FASD United and this cause than our own chair, Kate Boyce. Kate, I wish we could all be together tonight as we have been for 25 years for the FASD United Gala. We'll keep our fingers crossed for next year, but we've got a great, exciting show for you tonight. Kate, get us started.
Wait 1 second, first glitch. I have to unmute. Okay, first glitch, I apologize. It's great to see everyone. Good evening, season's greetings. I'm Kate Boyce, Reader, Board Chair of FASD United. Thank you for joining us all in this virtual Circle of Stars celebration. In this showcase of activism, we will honor stars in the FASD community, as Tom has said, and hear from our legislative champions who are sponsoring the FASD Respect Act. Much credit goes to our own leader, Tom Donaldson, and fabulous staff members, Jenn Wisdahl and Andy Ketcher, for producing this event with beautiful graphics and compelling stories. Maybe a few glitches. Our national organization launched over 30 years ago as NOFAS. Tom Donaldson and Kathy Mitchell have led the way as we've grown and transformed into FASD United. With Susan Carlsen and Jenn Wisdahl spearheading our policy advocacy, hundreds more FASD advocates are speaking out to help. Affiliate coordinator Susan Ellsworth has recruited more affiliates. FASD United is partnering with more groups across the country and moving ahead to add programs and services. We've also diversified our board with new members, Dr. Christie Petrenko and Lucas Boyce, who will speak later. Tonight is also our annual fundraiser, as Tom mentioned, so we encourage you to contribute through the chat box or when the program turns to our pledge challenge. Having led our board in fundraising for many years, I'm thrilled to see increasing support for FASD United. Special thanks go to our event sponsors and our energetic and generous board members supercharging our policy advocacy efforts, expanding our judicial center trainings, and helping with fundraising. In this season of giving, please remember that FASD United needs greater investment to continue its success. Tonight, I urge you to donate once again. Remember, you can contribute through the link in the chat box anytime, or wait for the pledge challenge, and make a pledge toward my personal challenge, which is to match up to at least $5,000 in the pledges made tonight. New donors are always especially important. As a wonderful example, I'm honored to introduce our first star of the night, an FASD advocate galvanized by our organization's outreach in the state of Maine. For standing up the new affiliate, FASD Maine, and becoming a new major donor to FASD United, I thank and present to you Constance Mazelsky.
My husband and I are proud supporters of FASD United. Since getting involved this past year, I've been deeply impressed by this organization's laser-like focus on helping people with FASD, as well as prevention through education. Susan Shepard Carlsen and Jennifer Wisdahl first approached me back in April about supporting the FASD Respect Act in our state. We were glad to meet the challenge. A key goal was having Maine Senator Susan Collins co-sponsor the FASD Respect Act. The team at FASD United were there at every step as great mentors and an invaluable support network. They trained me and my fellow co-founders of FASD Maine, Madonna Mooney and Shannon Corey. We leveraged our knowledge to good effect. 3 out of 4 of Maine's members of Congress and counting are co-sponsoring the FASD Respect Act, an act that would not have existed were it not for FASD United. When the FASD Respect Act passes, it will radically improve the lives of Mainers with FASD and their families. But this was not my first contact with FASD United. I owe them a lifelong debt of gratitude. 5 years ago, when we were looking into finally getting accurate diagnosis for our child, I turned to FASD United state-by-state list because diagnostic resources in our state were practically non-existent. We finally found an expert provider 2 states away. And during the 6-month wait for an appointment, I learned about an FASD conference to be held at Colby College. Only later did I realize that this conference, which galvanized so many in our state to start recognizing FASD as a hidden epidemic, was co-sponsored by FASD United and organized by board member Dr. Douglas Waite. No one has done more than Dr. Waite to help Maine's entire system of care, starting with our pediatricians, to learn how to recognize and diagnose FASD. Hearing Dr. Waite, Dr. Carl Bell, Larry Bird, and other experts speak about FASD changed my life. FASD United truly lives up to its new name by uniting thought leaders, volunteers, and families across the country. I'm proud to give to FASD United because they are bringing FASD out of the shadow of stigma. They're helping create radical, needed change in our systems of care, both in my home state and nationwide. Thank you.
Hey, good evening. It's Kathy Mitchell, Vice President and Spokesperson for FASD United, formerly known as NOFAS. I have had the honor of being involved in this organization for over 32 years, and I've been able to participate in so many wonderful activities that have really made a difference. And I can just guarantee you, with FASD United, it's just going to keep getting better and better and better. You know, when I first started, I got to sit at the table and work with the other folks at NOFAS to draft the language for the first ever FAS bill and to watch that manifest and reach the agencies. And I got to testify on behalf of that bill in front of Congress, and then later testified in front of Congress to support the Alcohol Advertising Act, which resulted in getting warning labels on every single bottle. We developed the first FASD medical school curriculum. And I know that early start served to educate thousands and thousands of physicians and other healthcare providers across the United States. We continue to support our efforts with mentoring birth mothers, to support them, to make sure they're finding help and support and obtaining treatment. The Circle of Hope is one you're probably all familiar with, but started the Recovering Mothers Anonymous in 2020. So this year, please be generous. I think FASD United is just gonna knock your socks off. So thank you so much, and be generous.
Hi, I'm Doug Waite. I'm a developmental pediatrician in the Bronx. I'm also vice chair of the board of FASD United. I came into being aware of FASDs through my work with child welfare, children in foster care. And this is something that was not taught to me in medical school. It's something that I had to learn about because I was seeing a number of children who had developmental issues that began very young in their lives that became progressively more and more difficult to manage. And many of them were ending up in residential treatment. The more I learned about FASD, the more I realized this is exactly what was going on. And we now know that FASD affects 2 to 5% in the general population, but among children in child welfare, it's extremely common, at least 20%, if most people think this is much higher, including myself. Currently, we do not screen all children entering foster care for FASD or prenatal alcohol exposure, but this is something we're working on getting on the map for all practitioners in all children, not just in child welfare, with the American Academy of Pediatrics and the CDC. In addition, with the legislation that's currently in Congress called the FASD Respect Act, we've been doing presentations across the country advocating for getting this bill passed into law to provide services for children and adults living with an FASD. We couldn't do any of this without FASD United, which has been around really as the hub of awareness of FASDs and leading people who have children that might be affected with FASD to linking them with services. FASD United recently changed our name from NoFast because we want to stress how we're working on providing more services to the community. We're hoping that you can join us in trying to promote provision of services for children and adults with FASDs by supporting FASD United. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Andy Katcher, Communications Director at FASD United. As most of you know, our vision is a world where all children are born free of exposure to alcohol, drugs, and other substances known to harm fetal development. My work with Tom Donaldson and Kathy Mitchell to strengthen and expand our programs has really been supercharged during the past year with some real champions who have joined our team. Jenn Wisdahl, our dedicated policy coordinator, has made amazing progress advancing the FASD Respect Act, which you'll soon hear a lot more about from some folks that you might recognize. Susan Ellsworth, our incredible affiliate coordinator, continues growing the affiliate network and coming up with new tools and resources for our members. I'm excited for you to hear from them both a little later on. FASD United remains the only national organization dedicated to both preventing FASD and to supporting children and adults who live with FASD. Our comprehensive state-by-state directory of resources and services is an invaluable tool listing everything from diagnostic services to education resources. Our policy center is the national hub for the most up-to-date resources on federal, state, and local FASD-related policy and legislation. Our Justice Center is a leading resource for FASD in the criminal justice system, and we continue to provide tools and materials for families and professionals and develop public health messaging, especially on social media, where we have the most active and engaged community of parents and families affected by FASD. We really need your support to see the FASD United vision realized. So please be generous tonight and stay tuned for an exciting live pledge challenge coming up later in the program. Thank you all so much, and please enjoy the rest of tonight's Circle of Stars celebration.
Good evening. I'm Susan Shepard Carlsen, FASD United board member. FASD United has been a leader on national FASD policy over the years. And this year, we've taken it to a new level with the bipartisan, bicameral FASD Respect Act. A huge thanks goes to our lead sponsors on the Respect Act. And we are delighted you will have a chance to hear from all four. Senators Murkowski and Representative Young from Alaska, and my favorites, of course, from Minnesota, Senator Amy Klobuchar and Representative Betty McCollum. We also have 18 members of Congress from across the country who have signed on since its introduction. Thanks to efforts like Connie and FASD Maine, I can assure you we will be getting others. You know, for 50 years, we've known about the harm of prenatal alcohol exposure. Since then, research has found FASD is common, up to 1 in 20 in the United States, but very few actually get the diagnosis due to stigma and lack of understanding. You know, that diagnosis, along with understanding of the disability, will provide for better outcomes. And the costs to the United States are enormous, $205 billion a year. But still, the general public, our systems of care, and our policymakers aren't aware of these simple facts. And so this has become a public health crisis, which screams for federal and state action. You know, we can do so much better for those with FASD and their families. We have to do better. And so it became clear that it would take a grassroots social advocacy movement for this dynamic to change. So that's why we formed the FASD United Policy Center. You know, we've all been challenged over the last 2 years with COVID, but the pandemic actually opened up the opportunity for us to connect with Congress like never before through Zoom. So our policy team partnered with you, our FASD advocates from around the country. We've had meetings, a lot of meetings. You have told your stories, shed some tears. Your stories have made the difference. I have never seen this level of advocacy. Thanks to you, over 500 advocates have had over 150 meetings with members of Congress and staff. But this united effort has only just begun. The RESPECT Act is just a start. So we humbly ask for your support to keep and sustain this effort. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart. And now I would like to introduce our first Circle of Star awardee, the Circle of Service Award. This is someone I have known for over a decade in my work on justice issues and who served for almost 20 years in public service with the NIAAA and with the Interagency Coordinating Committee on FASD. She has led the way on so many FASD initiatives, from increased awareness in the justice and medical fields to research on diagnosis and identification of FASD. Please welcome our Circle of Service Star Award winner, Dr. Sally Anderson.
Susan, thank you for your kind remarks. I was very excited when I got an email from Tom Donaldson a few weeks ago telling me I was going to get this award. I cry very easily. He'll have to forgive me. I want to thank you also, Susan, for all the work you did for several years on projects with the Interagency Coordinating Committee on Fetal Alcohol Spectrum Disorders Justice Issues Work Group. I have to thank many people. I went and I reflected on the things that we had accomplished and realized how fortunate I was that in late 2004, T.K. Lee, the then director of NIAAA, asked me if I would help manage and coordinate the activities of the Interagency Coordinating Committee on FASD. So I had a lot of support from above, particularly from Faye Calhoun and Ken Warren, and more recently, Trish Powell and George Koob, to try to see what we could do in this outreach activity to bring research to practice in different areas. So I have this list here of 46 people, and I figured Tom didn't want me to list them all. So I'd like you all to go to the NIAAA website, or you can search on ICC, FASD, NIAAA, and bring up the website and see the names of all the people who deserve this award. this is beautiful plaque that was developed. And we're all grateful. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Mike Anderson, and I'm a member of the FASD United Board. Congress and the American public need to know that prenatal alcohol exposure is documented at a rate of 1 in 9 live births. So to me, this is personal, and getting the RESPECT Act passed is a must happen. Importantly, many of you joining us tonight have already made a huge difference by telling your members of Congress about this bill to authorize programs and funding to aid individuals and families affected by FASD. In fact, I will say that in my 2 decades of working on and going to Capitol Hill, I've never seen a more dedicated, effective grassroots constituency and effort. So then what's this RESPECT Act about? The act is life-changing in that it brings together multiple federal agencies to focus on a national FASD agenda. The RESPECT Act will create a National Advisory Council on FASD consisting of parents, advocates, and professionals like many of you. It directs the Health and Human Services, or HHS, to establish an FASD research program with grant awards, contracts, and cooperative agreements. It also tells HHS to establish a center of excellence to build local, state, tribal, and national capacities to prevent the occurrence of FASD. Now, this has not been easy. Convincing Congress to establish and fund new programs is always a big challenge. It's always a big lift. But stand tall, FASD United advocates. Your efforts are making a huge difference. Now, before we hear from those members of Congress who, with their staffs, have worked tirelessly on S2238 in the Senate and HR 4151 in the House of Representatives, I want to remind you that our task is not complete, and we need to elevate our efforts to get those bills to the respective chamber floors for approval. So, like a good advocate, I have an ask. If you can, please take time to contribute to FASD United so we can continue the fight for the millions of Americans who are affected by FASD. And with that, good evening, stars. God bless you. And let's hear from our champions on Capitol Hill.
Hello to you all. I want to start with thanking you for what you do to raise awareness of fetal alcohol spectrum disorders. What FASD United does to support and advocate for individuals with FASD and their families is so very important. In Alaska, we know far too well the impact of consuming alcohol while pregnant, and our FASD statistics are a sad and an unfortunate reality. And we also know that there are so many Alaskans living with FASD who struggle to obtain needed support and resources. Raising awareness of FASD has been something that I have long been committed to. In my early years in the Senate, I joined a legislative effort to advance FASD research, prevention, and services, and subsequently introduced my own legislation to reauthorize vital programs and services to address this ongoing public health issue. Through my role on the Senate Appropriations Committee, I continue to prioritize the CDC's program on FASD and have urged prevention efforts and community-based FASD networks. This year, I worked with advocates in Alaska and at the national level to draft legislation that develops a comprehensive approach to prenatal substance exposure and addresses the systemic barriers that many face in seeking a diagnosis and services. This team effort led to the development of the FASD RESPECT Act, which I introduced this past June. FASD United and our Alaska partners, specifically South Central Foundation and Alaska's FASD state program, have been great partners in this. My legislation creates grant programs through the Health Resources and Services Administration to support state, local, and tribal entities in identifying, treating, and supporting individuals with FASD. This is really a comprehensive approach to prenatal substance and prenatal alcohol exposures through collaboration with state, tribal, and federal governments to support the medical, substance use, child welfare, and educational issues that families face after a diagnosis. I want to give a shout out to my colleague and partner on this legislation, Senator Amy Klobuchar, who's worked with me on this important issue for several years now. And again, I want to thank all of you for your advocacy and education efforts. We have much work to do together as we advocate for those impacted by FASD, but together we're making progress. Thank you. Take care.
Hello to everyone attending the FASD United 2021 Circle of Stars celebration. Today we're coming together to recognize some of the incredible advocates supporting people living with fetal alcohol spectrum disorders and fighting for a world where no baby is born with this disease. I want to thank my friend Susan Shepard Carlsen for inviting me to share a few words and for her tireless work championing this issue. She was a judge. She was the First Lady of Minnesota. She could just be, relaxing right now. But what is she doing? She's taking on this cause because she knows that one person can make a difference. I'd also like to recognize Kate Boyce, the FASD United Board Chair, and Tom Donaldson, the FASD United President, for their leadership. And I want to congratulate all tonight's incredible honorees. For over 30 years, this organization has provided a voice and hope for people touched by FASD. And your leadership today couldn't be more important because, as we all know, people living with this disease face huge challenges, from ill-informed systems of care to inadequate services to the burden of battling a disease that is so widely misunderstood. The patients and families who stare down these obstacles are heroes, and it's on all of us as lawmakers to make things easier for them. I once heard a wise person say, life's path is not always about the obstacles. Sometimes the obstacles are the path. It's finding your way, facing big challenges, whether it's a family, whether it's a person suffering from this disease, or whether it's our community. So what's our path right now? Well, I've long shared your commitment to taking on this disease. When I served as a county attorney, I saw the long-term effects of prenatal alcohol exposure firsthand. Each year, we handled nearly 10,000 juvenile cases overall in the office, and so many of these kids were coping with symptoms that we now know were related to FASD. So I know from experience that preventing and treating fetal alcohol spectrum disorders will have a far-reaching impact on our justice system, as well as our education system, our economy, and of course, affected families. Here's some good news. This issue brings people together. For a lot of lawmakers, Democrats and Republicans alike, this is bigger than partisan divides. So earlier this year, I teamed up with Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, where they have many, many proud Native people, to reintroduce the FASD Respect Act. It will build on our existing prevention programs and dedicate new funding to education, care initiatives, and support services for those affected by the disorder. Lisa and I have passed a lot of bills together, and we're good friends. And I'm telling you, with her on our side, we're going to get this done. It will make a huge difference for families across the country, and I will keep working until it's signed into law. I'm honored to be your partner in Washington. Thank you for having me and for everything you do. Keep up the great work. Enjoy the rest of the celebration. You deserve it.
Hello, this is Congressman Don Young, the Dean of the House back in the United States Congress. It's a privilege to send this video to you all, and I hope you will be back together in person one of these days. I'd like to one-on-one instead of just Zoom. Combat fetal alcohol syndrome, probably one of the worst things that happens to a lot of my people in Alaska. Your support for individuals and families living with these disorders are admirable, and we have made progress together to raise awareness to help, but more has to be done. We have to prevent this. This Congress, I help introduce legislation with my dear friend, Congresswoman Betty McClellan, to help address prenatal exposure through early intervention and provide support through programs and fund prevention efforts. Prevention efforts are very important. Additionally, this bill would create the National Advisory Council. Too many families across our nation have been affected by this syndrome. I have some experience of myself. I have some grandchildren that were adopted and have alcohol syndrome results. We have to deal with that all the time, and my daughters do, but it's a lot harder, and it's hard on those young children. And this year's honorees, I want to say thank you for this deal and congratulations. You are really in the circle of stars. Your work makes a difference. I'm proud to be your partner in Congress. Thank you again for having me, and God bless all of you, and let's handle this problem of alcohol syndrome. God bless you.
Hello, I'm Congresswoman Betty McCollum, and I represent the families of Minnesota's 4th Congressional District in the U.S. House of Representatives. Congratulations on all your dedicated advocacy over the years as you welcome a new era of leadership, this 2021 Circle of Stars celebration. Even before my time in Congress, I have been dedicated on working on fetal alcohol syndrome. As many as 1 in 20 school-aged children are impacted by FASD, and it's critical that the needs of these children and their parents are met. And that's why I've introduced the FASD Respect Act in the U.S. House of Representatives. This bipartisan, bicameral legislation focuses on expanding research, educating the public about the health impacts and the impairments associated with these disorders. It enhances prevention at the state and community levels while increasing resources for organizations directly serving children and adults with FASD. This legislation builds on the best practices established in places like my home state of Minnesota for the prevention, recognition, and treatment, and expanding the model at a federal level. Educating the public about the health impacts and the impairments associated with these disorders, working to end the stigma, and focusing on prevention is at the heart of your advocacy. And I am proud to partner with all of you on this important work. Community engagement and policy change go hand in hand, and that's why your work is so critical. I would like to give a big special thanks to Susan Shepard Carlsen for her tireless dedication to this cause, both at home in Minnesota and throughout the country. And finally, a big thanks to all of you for being champions for those impacted by FASD. Have a wonderful celebration.
I'm Jenn Wisdahl, and I'm the proud parent to 3 kids with FASD. Additionally, I am lucky enough to be the newest team member with FASD United, and I get to support the work of the policy team and incredible advocates like all of you. Advocacy is part of the journey of FASD, regardless of how you're connected to it. And this year, advocates from around the country have mobilized in record numbers to support passage of the FASD Respect Act, to make change in their own cities and states, and to connect our robust and diverse FASD community. It's through the efforts of advocates that the cause of FASD has and continues to move forward. Your donation tonight during our Pledge Challenge helps continue the work that FASD United is doing to support advocacy through the Policy Center. Your generous contribution helps FASD United mobilize, inform, and support advocates by providing resources, training, and encouragement. I am so incredibly grateful for the advocacy done by all of you, both this year and in years past. Now, back in the early 70s, right around the time I was born, a nurse and an educator adopted an infant diagnosed with fetal alcohol syndrome. Imagine the advocacy they must have had to do back then when the effects of prenatal exposure were just becoming known. Now imagine still advocating together as a family over 40 years later. The Weibrecht family has been a force in FASD advocacy from the beginning, both nationally through Barbara's service on the ICC FASD Juvenile Justice Work Group and as a field trainer for the former Center for Excellence, a role that could exist again with the passage of the FASD Respect Act. Using her background as a nurse, Barbara was instrumental in the creation of multidisciplinary diagnostic clinics in Michigan. Her son, Rob, a powerful self-advocate in his own right, has served on the steering committee on the former FASD Center for Excellence, and has spoken both nationally and internationally at conferences. Barbara and Rob, together with Ted before his passing, have spent countless hours leading trainings, putting on self-advocacy conferences and camps, and raising the profile of FASD in their home state of Michigan and far, far beyond. Our FASD United affiliate, McFairs, was created based on a call to action from the Weibrecht family. They have been actively involved in advocacy for the FASD Respect Act, both by connecting with their legislators and through a well-timed piece on public radio. It is my sincere privilege and honor to announce that the 2021 Advocacy Star of the Year will go to the Weibrecht family.
Wow, what an incredible evening this is. FASD United, Circle of Stars. And there are so many circles and so many stars. FASD United has been steadfast through the years, educating and advocating for persons living with an FASD, birth mothers, families, and all others searching for information and knowledge, or even those who are very, very new to the world of FASD. This is such a special award. I was overwhelmed when Tom mentioned it to me. The more I thought about it, the happier I became. It is not for us, but rather in our name, for those who have come after us, those who work as a family team. They will be celebrated as they support and encourage other families to do the same. Thank you.
It is an honor to accept this award, celebrating my lifetime of knowledge in FASD. Many FASD dreams, conferences, and friendships have led up to this moment. Having an FASD has allowed me to travel the world educating others about how FAS has affected me, and has allowed me to share my successes and failures. I also am accepting this award on behalf of my father, who has been a support person in my life.
Everyone, my name is Lucas Daniel Boyce, and I am honored and blessed to serve as an FASD United board member. I was born an orphan, 6 weeks premature, with a number of disabilities known and unknown at the time, because of what my mother's use of alcohol and substances while pregnant with me. Because of this, I struggled developmentally with delay and learning disorders. I've struggled with growth deficiency, memory problems, attention deficit issues, and other health issues that have affected me throughout my life. The circumstances of my birth didn't cause my adopted mom, Dorothy, to shrink from the opportunity of the moment, however. Over a 15-year period, Dorothy encouraged over 40 foster care children in her care to remember what King David once wrote in Psalms 139 when he proclaimed that all of us are fearfully and wonderfully made. My mom has fostered many FASD children, and all of us are made to believe that we were perfect and are perfect, and that we are built for so much more than we realize. I believe personally that when hard work, dedication, perseverance, and hope meet with opportunity and grace and mercy, anything can happen. Mom has taught me that our disabilities as FASD children and adults don't have to define us, and they don't have to determine our life's call or our destiny. I am living proof of this, and so are you. Despite the disabilities, despite the setbacks and disappointments that I and you have endured with FASD, God has and his son have eclipsed those disabilities and those weaknesses with their love and unmerited kindness, grace, and mercy. I can attest to that. I'm living proof of that. And so are you. Coach Mom taught us that we can do anything we put our minds to, that no matter what, and to always remember who we are and who we represent. I believe my mom and I took her at her word. So I set out to accomplish some big goals, and by the grace of God, while I've struggled with some multiple impacts of FASD, I've also been blessed to serve at the White House, work for an NBA team, fly aboard Air Force One, become a published author, and serve as an imperfect minister for God. The holiday season reminds us to be thankful for the things God and His Son have done for us. And I'm thankful for the stakeholders of FASD United who believe in honoring every life. I'm yet hopeful and look forward to the day when millions of children all over the world will be saved as a result of FASD United's efforts. And now, I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce to you Rebecca Tillou. She's a remarkable person who also refuses to let her disabilities define her. Rebecca is 34 years old and lives in Albany, New York, with her husband and 2 sons. She works as a claims representative at an insurance company and recently found out that she lives with fetal alcohol spectrum disorder. Rebecca was the race chair and coach of the first run FASD United virtual 5K this past September, if you'll remember. Rebecca hopes to share her knowledge of what it's like to be diagnosed as an adult with this FASD. And just as a reminder, you can order Rebecca's book called Tenacity on Amazon. With that, I introduce to some and I present to others, Miss Rebecca Tillou.
Hey everybody, my name is Rebecca Tillou, and I am honored to have been chosen as one of FASD United's 2021 stars for the first FASD Circle of Stars celebration. I have been a runner since I was 12 years old, and when COVID hit in 2020, I took it as an opportunity to train and run my first half marathon. It was a live event and it was spectacular. As I started to train for the half, I realized that virtual races had taken the world by storm. So I talked to my mom and I said that I wanted to create a virtual race. And she suggested I do one for FASD. So I took her advice and I ran with it. And thus the first annual Run Fast virtual 5K was born in September of 2021. We raised $5,287, and there were 244 registered runners for this virtual event. I owe a huge thank you to everybody that registered, everybody that participated, everybody that donated money. Thank you so much. Tom Donaldson and Jenn Wisdahl of FASD United, thank you so much for all of your support and all of your help in creating this race and making it go off without a hitch. Natalie Vecchione, podcaster of FASD Hope. Without your support, I would not have had the advertising and the positive words and the encouragement that I did. Thank you so much. To my parents, Rich and Debbie Kulak, and to Nicholas and Dominic Tillou, my kids, you guys have been awesome supports throughout the whole creation of the virtual race and just in my life. And a huge thank you to my husband, Jason, who was in my corner as well, every step of the way. And he also coined the name Run Fast. So everybody, thank you again. And get your running shoes ready for 2022's second annual Run Fast virtual 5K. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Great. Hello, everybody. Rebecca, thank you so much for getting us all charged up. As a sort of former runner, maybe I'll try to get back in the game and run that 22 race even faster. But now it's time to start our exciting pledge challenge, and I'll turn to Jenn Wisdahl, who will explain how to participate.
Okay, so in a few seconds, a window will appear on your screen. By clicking on a dollar amount in the pop-up window, you're pledging to donate that amount to FASD United. After the Circle of Stars celebration ends, a staff person, probably me, from FASD United will get in contact with you and collect your pledge. So the window is open now, I hope. Now, and really now.
Okay, so I'm starting by pledging $5,000, and I ask anyone, if anyone is willing to match my pledge right off the bat. Do we have any takers? Okay, hearing none. Is anyone willing? What?
Hey, Kate. I'm currently doing a Facebook FASD United fundraiser with a goal of $5,000 by the end of the year.
Well,
I've already, so I raised a little over 1,200. So Facebook friends, if you can, I'm willing to pledge whatever I raise. So, and I also, Catherine Shea, I don't know, is Catherine here? She is at a gala for the Florida Center and they're honoring her. So she's not able to join us. She was going to be here about 8:30, so we may have missed her, but she's pledging 1,200. Thanks so much, Catherine. She's just been incredible board member and advocate.
Okay, well, that's fantastic, Susan. So let me now ask if anybody's willing to pledge $2,500 towards my challenge, which is to match at least $5,000 raised through the Pledge Challenge poll tonight. So come on, everybody, make me pay up with your pledge. Don't be shy. Jen?
I see we have a pledge from our dear friend and board member, colleague Ed Riley at $1,000. Ed, thank you very much. I don't think Ed can be with us tonight because he's traveling internationally for an FASD conference. But we do have that pledge. Now you can still give 5,000 or 2,500, but
well, and we did, Tom. Somebody just gave $5,000, so thank you.
Thank you. My goodness. I hope it wasn't
We
my
have,
pledge.
yeah, the pledge ticker on my end is climbing up and up and up. So sorry, Tom, to interrupt. I was just too excited.
Are you kidding? You can interrupt at any dollar amount, particularly 5,000. Now I will pledge 1,000 to keep us going. Anyone else at the $1,000 level? You know, it's a lot of money, but you can allocate it to Jen's work in the Policy Center or the Affiliate Network or Billy Edwards in the Justice Center, Kathy's Birth Mothers Network, whatever you choose. So how about $1,000?
Hey, Tom, I was particularly moved by Rebecca's son and just kind of smiling in the back there. That was pretty awesome tonight, man. I just want to say right on, right on. And I mean, those kind of smiles are what I live for, as well as some of the other smiles tonight. So I'm going to add my $1,000 to that. So add that to a pledge.
Fantastic.
Awesome, Mike. Thank you.
All right. Well, to sweeten the pot, as it were, donors over $500 will receive a delicious batch of cookies from Sugar Mama's Cookies, which is a bakery out of Las Vegas, operated by individuals with FASD and other members of the neurodiverse community. Additionally, Heather and Tom Morris, the bakery's owners, started our newest FASD United affiliate, Nevada Families for FASD. And I can say from experience that the cookies are absolutely delicious. So the pledges just keep going up, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate this. And I need to tell you a little bit of a funny story about my pledge. So as you all know, FASD United went through a name change, and I'll be honest, I've been calling us NoFast for so long, I really struggled with using the new name consistently. And some of you may know what I'm leading up to here. But I gave myself a silly challenge that every time I used the old name, I would donate $1. So according to my tally sheet next to me, I am up to $420, probably because I talk a lot. but also because sometimes I forget, and that donation is going to FASD United. So I noticed that the pledges are still climbing, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate this. And anywhere from, like, honestly, even at the $25, the $10 amount, any amount you give is helpful. It helps fund things like the Policy Center. It helps fund things like the amazing Circle of Hope and the Birth Mothers Network. It helps fund the affiliate network, where so much collaboration and leadership in the FASD community is done. So I just can't tell you enough how much all of your generosity and support is absolutely appreciated. And I am completely stunned and kind of shaky and blown away by the amount that is coming in here. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, from my family. This is genuinely appreciated. So I'm trying to do the math here very quickly in my head, and I will have a more accurate tally. For those of you that know me, math is not my strong suit. So I'll wait and get a more accurate tally from the spreadsheet that downloads when we're done. But I can say that we have raised over $10,000 in this pledge challenge. So that's,
Jen,
yeah.
Jen, so you stopped at $400?
I did.
Well, since you said everybody that gets 500 gets a bunch of cookies, so why don't I do this? If you'll agree, I'll add another 100 to your donation, and then what I'd like you to do, since I'm so impressed with Rebecca's son, can you make sure Rebecca's son gets those cookies for Christmas from me?
I will absolutely do that.
Okay, that'll be great. So just add me down for another 100. I don't have a selection thing up here, but just
That's
add me
okay.
for another 100.
I also have a pen and ink, and I'm happy to
that's
keep track
great.
of those requests.
Okay, and if you want to, I'll say no fast 100 times to help you out there. But
I was going to say, do I need to say no fast
did,
80 more
okay?
times?
Yeah, let's just pretend I just said it 100. Just send it there. So expect some cookies, Rebecca's son.
Absolutely. And we have 5 donors that have given at the $100 level. We have 9 donors that have given at the $50 level. 6 of you have given at the $25 level. And we've even had folks give at the $10 level. And I think at the $10 level, that is so meaningful. And I really genuinely appreciate that. Wow. We have somebody who's asked us to contact them so they can donate another amount, and I will happily do that on Monday morning and connect with you. But yeah, the numbers just keep going up and up, and your generosity is it's just so appreciated.
It truly is. And we're going to, as we go on with the show, you can still donate. You can donate by clicking on the donate link in the chat. And even if you closed the pledge window, you can do that. And you can get in touch with Jen or any of us at FASD United at any point. This is really terrific. We're so excited. We will definitely have the figures for you by the end of the night, but it feels like we're over that goal. I hope so. Thank you so much. And now let's get back to the show.
Before you get back to the show, can you just remind everybody that while they're doing their holiday shopping, if they happen to shop on Amazon, they can always pledge use Smile, and a portion of the proceeds of their sale will go to FASD United.
I also note that Christie Petrenko would like to make her pledge in honor of the amazing adults with FASD that she has the pleasure of working with. And there are a number of incredible self-advocates on the call here tonight. And I am grateful for your presence and so grateful from what I learned from you and for your support. So thank you.
All goes according to plan. I'm on a plane flying to the first scientific meeting I've been able to attend in over 20 months. but trust me, I'm with you in spirit. I've been doing research on FASD for a very long time, and in the last 20 years, it's been my honor to serve as the director of the Collaborative Initiative on FASD, an international multidisciplinary consortium of basic and clinical scientists, all with an interest in FASD. Over this period, CFAS has involved researchers from over 30 universities in over 8 countries. It's been very productive, and it's nice to know that people involved in it are being recognized here tonight or have been recognized in previous similar gatherings. I also want to acknowledge the work of Kathy and Tom of FASD United in supporting the efforts of CFAS and for being part of this consortium over the years. CFAS is involved in several areas of research, and one of our current aims is to overcome barriers of diagnosis along the entire spectrum. We're looking at e-health tools and technology to overcome the disparity between the number of individuals impacted by prenatal alcohol and the number of individuals expert in diagnosis and interventions. Christie Petrenko, who is there tonight, has a mobile application supporting a family intervention and is working on a phone-based app for adults with FASD. Ken Jones, who all of you know, is working using telehealth to bring expert diagnosis to individuals regardless of where they're located. And we all know that children with an FASD grow up to be adults with an FASD, yet very little work has been done on understanding the ramifications of prenatal alcohol exposure on adults, either in terms of specific behavioral problems or in their general health outcomes. When I started working in this area, I thought that FASD was primarily a brain-based disorder. But over the years, my thoughts have changed to it being a whole body disorder with ramifications on health and disease over the lifetime. CFAS is exploring this in several projects. Anyone wishing more information on CFAS can always check our website, cfas.org, or feel free to email me. And I just wish you great success at this Circle of Stars meeting. And thank you all for your support over the years and the support that has come from FASD United. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Christie Petrenko, and I'm a research associate professor at the University of Rochester. As one of the newest board members of FASD United, it is truly my pleasure to be here with you tonight. As a board member, I'm excited to lead initiatives to change the story we tell about FASD. Much of what you hear about FASD focuses on the deficits and barriers. People with FASD have important strengths and are capable when provided the supports and opportunities to thrive. One way you can contribute to this important work is to support the Stars for Starla campaign. Another way we are changing the story about FASD is through research innovations. My team at the University of Rochester, Seattle Children's Research Institute, and the Collaborative Initiative on FASD are working to develop new tools to increase access to FASD-informed care. We are using technology to develop scalable solutions to help people with FASD and their families thrive. Your gift in support of FASD United helps us researchers connect with families and providers to get vital feedback in the development of these innovations and ultimately the innovations to the people who need them. Lastly, it is my privilege tonight to present a STAR Award for accomplishments in research innovation. Tonight's winner is Sarah Mattson. Dr. Mattson is a professor at San Diego State University and has been conducting innovative research on FASD for over 30 years. She led some of the earliest imaging studies on FASD in the 1990s and has made significant contributions to our understanding of the neuropsychological impact of prenatal alcohol exposure. Currently, she's working to develop an app to improve screening and diagnosis of FASD. Please join me in recognizing Dr. Mattson for her outstanding accomplishments.
I'm honored to be receiving this award from FASD United. As a researcher and clinical neuropsychologist, it has always been my hope that my work will make a difference in the lives of individuals living with an FASD, their families, and their communities. Throughout my career, I've tried to chip away at some of the myths and misconceptions of fetal alcohol spectrum disorders, including my earliest work demonstrating that individuals who have been exposed to alcohol prenatally, but who did not have the fetal alcohol syndrome, demonstrated some of the same difficulties as those who had received a diagnosis of FAS. And that FASD is multifaceted and cannot be explained by IQ or ADHD alone. Most recently, I focused on trying to improve our ability to identify and provide diagnoses for affected individuals and trying to reduce the clinical burden for clinicians and families. None of this work has been done in isolation, and I would like to thank the National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism, who has funded my work since 1997. I'd also like to thank the Center for Behavioral Teratology and the Collaborative Initiative on Fetal Alcohol Spectrum Disorders and all of my collaborators and my students, past and present. I could not have done any of this without them. Thank you.
Now we're at the top of the hour, and we told you that we would have a fast-paced hour, and we have. But I think you've made so many pledges and that we're going to go a little bit longer. And so 2 more awards to go.
Identify and provide diagnoses for affected individuals since 1997. I'd also like to thank the Center for and my students, past and present. I could not have done any of this without them. Thank you.
This holiday season provides a chance to reflect on the past year and share our gratitude for our friends, families, sponsors, partners, and colleagues who work in the FASD justice community. The COVID-19 pandemic and the ongoing world crisis in our country has created another challenging year for many of us in the FASD community. We at FASD United, including the Justice Task Force, are deeply grateful for your hard work promoting excellence in the profession, building more community ties with each other, and advancing justice for children and adults and families with FASD. Over the last 2 years, we've done over 20 Zoom trainings for criminal justice personnel, including various public defenders in the United States, the federal public defender offices, CASA organizations, and many other mental health agencies throughout the United States. During this time, we were also involved in 2 amicus briefs that appeared before the United States Supreme Court on FASD issues and the death penalty. As chair of the Justice FASD United Task Force, along with Dr. Larry Bird, we kindly ask during this holiday season that you please donate even in the smallest amount of $5 so that we can continue to do the work that we do each day. Finally, it's with great pleasure that I announce this year's Star Award for Justice from FASD United to be given to the lovely Catherine Kelly, Kay as we all call her, who I've known for many, many years, who is also one of the early pioneers in the FASD community and promoting social injustice for people and families with FASD.
Thank you so much, Billy, for your kind words of introduction. And, you know, some of them could be true, I don't know. But I really do appreciate this recognition from FASD United. And thanks to Tom and to Kathy and the board. And, you know, working on behalf of those with FASD who are in trouble with the law is not the effort of one, but the effort of us all. And as each of us do what we can to bring about awareness of FASD in the juvenile and criminal courts, as well as in the correction system. This work is critically important, as you all know, since a person with this disability can be profoundly affected by involvement in law violation in the courts. Change, either for better or for worse, can be brought about by this contact, depending on whether or not FASD is recognized and whether or not tailored FASD-informed services and supports are put in place. That FASD United is expanding their interest in and work on behalf of those who get caught up in the juvenile adult criminal justice system is a valuable step forward and one we need to work together to promote. These issues require institutional support, since the stakes for those with FASD and their families are so high. And currently, this vital work is dependent on too few individuals. Organizing trainings for lawyers and other court professionals cannot be the work of only FASD United board member Billy Edwards and his team of dedicated volunteers. This is such important work. We need us all to work together, and we need each of you, and we need more. Thank you.
On behalf of the Affiliate Network, thank you for joining us for Circle of the Stars. I'm Susan Ellsworth, the FASD United Affiliate Coordinator. The FASD United Affiliate Network is a group of autonomous organizations united to further FASD awareness, provide support, improve the quality of life for those affected by prenatal alcohol exposure, and advocate for sustaining policy change. Members of the affiliate network benefit from access to cutting-edge training, stigma-free infographics, and social media materials. Members learn from those more seasoned as they serve as mentors to those newer to the FASD field. Our network crosses people groups, social economics, cultures, preventionists, interventionists, researchers, therapists, strategists, all to bring positive change to the FASD community. The FASD Affiliate Network is where the rubber meets the road. Your tax-free donation supports affiliates across the country and those they serve. Please consider making a donation tonight or sign up to give up monthly.
Hello, on behalf of FASD United, thank you for joining us for Circle of Stars. I'm Catherine Shea, a board member of FASD United, former and now retired CEO of the Florida Center for Early Childhood, home to the only FASD clinic in the state and the only Florida affiliate. But much more importantly, I'm a mom to this amazing young man, Seth Winters, a 32-year-old individual with FASD. And Seth, would you like to briefly tell them just some of your many strengths?
Sure. Well, first, I'm handsome and kind and very creative. I'm a leader at my school. And I'm very funny. And did I say handsome?
Yeah, I think you did. And Seth and I are so delighted to announce the first FASD United Affiliate of the Year award. And this award is presented to an affiliate chosen by their peers in the affiliate network and meeting some heavy-duty criteria, such as assisting with the growth of the network, engaging in advocacy, and implementing innovative strategies. And our winner of our 2021 FASD United Affiliate of the Year is, drumroll, Arkansas 949. And the work they have done in 2021 alone is so impressive. Just to name a couple of accomplishments, they host a closed Facebook group for caregivers. They conduct monthly education and support group for caregivers. They began a public awareness campaign promoting prevention. And Arkansas now has a law that establishments selling alcohol must post warning signs of the risk of consuming alcohol while pregnant. And Arkansas None for Nine is monitoring compliance with the law. And now it is our great honor to present this prestigious award to Arkansas None for Nine, and David Deere will accept this award on behalf of the affiliate organization. And please don't forget, make a donation tonight, or even better, a monthly donation. And please know how very much individuals like Seth and families like ours appreciate your support. You truly make a difference in our lives. Right? Say your chant.
FASD United! FASD United! FASD United!
What an exciting time to be a part of the FASD United Affiliate Network. There are new affiliates coming into the network almost monthly, and existing programs are expanding their services and programs. It's great to be a part of a network with such caring and committed colleagues. I've spent much of my professional life working with coalitions, but have never seen one so willing to support one another. And now with the RESPECT Act gaining congressional support, we are poised to fundamentally change the landscape for FASD in our nation. Kudos to Susan Carlsen, Jenn Wisdahl, and the policy team for their work. An attitude of cooperation flows from the national organization of FASD United. Unlike most national associations that look to their affiliates to support the national office, FASD United looks for ways to support efforts at the state and local levels. Tom Donaldson came to Arkansas before we were ever an affiliate to help us organize and form. Many grants from the national office have allowed us to develop a strategic plan, increase awareness of FASD in our state, and to promote prevention. Tom Donaldson and Kathy Mitchell are both willing to do whatever they can to support individuals, their families, and the affiliate organizations. On behalf of our president, Carol Rangel, the coordinator of our work group, Shanika Smith, our clinic director, Elizabeth Cleveland, the members of the board and work group, our supporters, allies, and collaborating agencies, we are honored to accept this award. Wow, what an amazing night. What an evening. It's been, you're all stars. We are so grateful to you. Thank you so much. You can still make your contribution all the way through the end of the year, in fact. And when we started tonight, I think I mentioned that we had already raised with donations and pledges nearly $66,000 for this event. So Jen, what's it look like? How do we do tonight?
I am tallying it up. So tap dance for a couple minutes, Tom, and I will have it for you.
Well, I'll try to do that. In fact, earlier tonight, my colleagues said that I missed my calling as a game show host with, I guess, this get up and the stage here. But I haven't figured out how to come up with a game show where you can take the money out of the contestants' pockets instead of giving them a chance to win. But it's been such a great evening, and it's going to continue if you'd like. Now, I know it's Friday night. Some of you have exciting plans, but we do have an after party planned. And so I'll be on with some of my colleagues. And if you'd like to stay with us, we want to hear from you. We want to hear what comments you have, not about tonight necessarily, but about FASD, our global community, what we've accomplished and what we're looking to for next year. And maybe we can share holiday wishes among one another. So you can still contribute. In fact, as I see here, I can't see the amount, but I can see that there have been 40, nearly 50 of you have contributed tonight. And I know the rest of you did so before the event. So it's really been amazing. And it's something that's going to benefit all of us for next year. Now, Kate earlier mentioned there are many ways to give. And if you're familiar with our work, you know about Stars for Starla. That's a way to do it. You know you can make a contribution. And even if this year you're supporting one of the affiliates or some other FASD organization in your community, you can still help NOFAS at FASD United. There it is, but it's only $1. Actually, should get penalized even more this far after we changed the name. Amazon Smile. If you shop on Amazon at all you have to do is designate. And now it is still NoFast. We're still in the process of changing everything over. If you designate NoFast, a portion of your purchase will come directly to us without you paying an extra penny. So that's a way to support us as you're getting ready for the holidays. So what do you think, Jen? What do we look like? Did we get up to the 80,000?
I am absolutely overjoyed to announce that we raised $92,110. Wow.
That is amazing. That's amazing. We're so excited. What a great start we have to next year. We've got a lot of work to do. We're going to see each other often as we have this year. And we do, I'd like, as we formally close the Circle of Stars tonight, I'd like to ask my colleagues if they have a parting word. Then we'll cut the recording and we'll just hang out for those of you who'd like to stick around.
Well, I'd like to say thank you to all for participating and digging deeper in your pockets. Also, don't forget that we have very important legislation that's pending in the House and the Senate. Keep contacting your senators and Congress people to co-sponsor the bill and ask for hearings and action on the bill. It's so important. We have a whole nother year to work on this. And next year, hopefully we'll meet in a live event and can celebrate enactment of this important legislation. And finally, please have a wonderful holiday with your family. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to echo what Kate has said. It's been an incredible year. And I really feel like, with all the meetings we've had, we have become, I've never met Jenn, but she's like family. She's, I'm closer than family. And I feel that way with everybody that we've met across the country. It's been an incredible experience. And I'm just so humbled for your participation tonight and throughout the year. It's just been an amazing experience. Thank you. And Dexter just wanted to make my FASD for your friend wanted to, just make an appearance. Been with me every Zoom throughout the year. Thank you.
Well, I didn't want to cut anyone off there who had something else to say, because I'm going to unbutton my jacket, roll the sleeves up, sit down, and we'll open up the floor to anyone. And before we do, I want to say thank you to the FASD United team. Kathy, we've worked together for 25 years. You've been doing this a lot longer than that, but it's been an absolute pleasure learning from you and working with you. Andy is the star of this evening. I don't know how you interviewed everyone, produced this wonderful evening, but thank you, my friend. And I too, I have not met Jenn. You've been amazing. Keep it up. We've got to find more of you and more Susan Ellsworths. Susan, we've had, I think beyond anyone, we've had some long discussions about the organization, about what we can accomplish and how we can get there, and how we can make sure that we're meeting the promise to the FASD community. So thank you for everything. And the board, come on, keep raking in the money so we can keep doing our work. So, all right, so the floor is open.